Hey guys, it's Kristen. I'm dressed up today, obviously. So I think I don't remember the day that I posted the message about Wonder Woman. It was like a few days ago. So I actually have actually legit cosplay Wonder Woman full outfit. It's expensive. It's like a $300 outfit. And I didn't want to I didn't want to put it all on. So I was like, I'm just gonna do this, put my shirt on because it goes with the actual message for today. So right now it is 8:26 p.m. It is September 23rd, 2023. And so I'm feeling good right now because obviously I'm doing this video. Um, I do want to say that uh I started my last full drop down on my it's Suboxone, but it's called Belbuca. Either way, for anybody who hasn't watched me before, if you're watching this, it's not because of like addiction or hard drugs or anything like that. It's been in pain management for a back injury, and I just been wanting to quit for a long time. This has been a long process and road, but I am literally right there. So, yeah, I started that on this last Tuesday, and it's my last month. So I think every week I have to like continue to drop down. So that's why this whole last week I just didn't have the energy to do a video. I've been exhausted, like it just extremely exhausted, extremely sick. This one has been very, very hard, very, very hard for me. But I'm getting it, I'm doing it. So either way, I'm still doing it. I'm not stopping. But this upcoming week, I don't know if I'm going to be doing any videos. I may do one video. Like I said, I'm gonna try to do one video a week as I go down, and I'm hoping by like the next month or at least in the next 2 weeks, my body is gonna trigger that change and it'll be a little bit better, and it's just gonna take time. So, yeah, and at this time I'm spending a lot more time just like focusing on like practical goals and setting plans and things that I want to do moving forward and what I want to do with other projects because I have a ton of things that I would love to do, and I know I need to figure out and just I want to stay with this, but I still want to do a lot of things. So I'm just gonna make a plan, but I'm gonna make a plan and figure out how I'm gonna go on TikTok and figure that out. Still, I kind of know how I want to do it, but I'm still figuring that out. So I'm taking this time to really just go in and do that. So I hope you guys are doing well. Uh, this definitely goes into with the astrology of what's happening next week because Mars, what is it? Mars is in Chiron and Aries. Aries. And so that's next week. And then what is it? Tomorrow, so Sunday on the 24th, we're gonna have Moon conjunct Pluto. So be careful a little bit on you know, little things maybe getting to you or like just going off on people, because this is a time that it is quite frustrating. There's a lot of retrogrades. Trust me, I know. I've been going through it and just like chilling out. That's what I've been doing. I've been sitting back and just fighting the things that are coming to me. And I know the last video I had was talking about, you know, just like killing the old version of me, but not really. It's still me. It's not, but it's more of I'm letting go of going back and looking back, I guess. Like I know I had to do that. I think that's the process with the shadow work and Dark Night of the Soul having many different don't even know the word now. Spiritual awakenings. I have awakenings all the time, but I had to go all the way to the back many times because I like to process everything in all different types of ways. So it was more of maybe the guilt and shame of things that I've done or what I was doing that I wasn't aware of, but it was also more of just like forgiving and finally letting go, not only for myself, but for all of it, my whole life, all of it. Because no one's really to blame. And that's what I love about the movie Whenever. Was it Steve when Steve's talking to Diana and saying that we're all to blame, which is true. I feel like we're all to blame when it comes to, you know, how things happen in our lives. Because that's a natural reaction as we want to blame other people or even ourselves for things that have happened to us, why we do things, why, when, where, how, why, whatever you want to whatever you want to do that. But that was also excuse me. There was also because I wrote down a few things because I had some messages come in. And like I said, I have just been so tired. I'm so sorry if I'm like I it's been a rough week for me. It's definitely been a rough week. And I've just been sleeping a lot and also just trying to like, you know, it's been a lot of work basically. But yeah, so I don't know if most people are into like Greek mythology, or if you're not, that's great. Like I said, I always tell people in all my videos, like, you don't have to take anything, you don't have to believe anything, you don't have to believe in astrology. Like, don't if you don't want to listen to it, don't listen to it. If you do, great, whatever. Like, I don't like to make people believe anything I'm saying. So either way, um Chiron, because I mean Chiron's also a huge thing right now. Because Chiron is retrograde until December of this year. And so a lot of us are going back from whether it's childhood wounds or just wounds in general, whether it's family, it can be everything basically. So the story of what, Chiron, because Chiron thought he was going to war and be, to be a great warrior and immortal. And, you know, then he actually leaves the war and he gets shot by his own family. He gets shot by his own family, then he loses his immortality and going through like all of the pain and suffering. He was so wounded by all of that. Then he carries Prometheus' liver, and yeah, he like held it to like sacrifice his life to become immortal again. And that's whenever he became a guide. So I feel like that goes with a lot of people who are healers, is that story can relate. You can relate to that. And but yeah, anyways. um if and this may not resonate for everybody, but if you look back from 2005, from September 2005, or even just in general of the year of 2005, you may notice a pattern there of what's happening now. Maybe there's a similarity there. So if you're maybe looking for something still, or to pick a pattern or piece together, you can look at that if you would like. I would give in my 2 cents on this just because in September in 2005, I I was sad because I was going to move back to Oklahoma. So I was living in Arizona, so I was moving back to Oklahoma. So I was sad because I didn't want to leave Nicole. Like, Nicole is my best friend. And I was sad because now I have to like start back into a new, different life in a different place. And what is happening in my life? Anyways, uh, and then what's funny is I tried to move back. I moved back in with Nicole. I was 15, and that was in 2008. And that was also a time I was really sad because there was a lot going on in my family and that light, and so I moved with her, and then I was still really sad, but I was still living my best life. Like, and then I still had to go back. Like I'm not gonna say forced to go back, but it was kind of one of those things like I was like kind of tricked to go back. Tricked, but sort of like I had to, or it was like forced to. Um and I remember trying to get out, but then it was like I did everything I could, and it wasn't until someone came in to like help me. But even then, like, yeah, anyways, um, so in November of 2005, that was whenever we moved to Oklahoma, um, which is really interesting because before I actually moved to Arizona, I was best friends with a girl, um, and her family because they lived like a few houses next to my house. And I was really sad that I was gonna have to leave her because then I was moving to Arizona. So then when we moved back to Oklahoma in November 2005, her and her family actually came by and helped us move in. And that was the last time I saw her. Last time I saw her, I saw her maybe one or two more times after that, and then I didn't see her again. And then here recently, I remember just talking about it that I just saw her sister, her older sister, um, is an assistant for the pre-K teacher for my older son Wiley, and I'm like, what is happening? And let's see. And so this also goes back for me, like back in 2003, because I was starting dance classes in 2003 in Arizona. So that's whenever, like I said, before we even moved, I knew I had the idea that I was going to be a dancer and I knew it was going to happen. But it still was kind of like, I don't know how it's going to happen or how it even work because of like my life where it is now. And then it still ended up happening. Somebody came into my life, a new friend, and she's like, yeah, you want to go to a dance class? It's free. I'm like, and there's a story for that. And so I was doing dance classes then, and then before before we even knew, so when we were living in Arizona, before we even moved, we were going to move back to Oklahoma in 2005. When we went down to Oklahoma to visit my mom and papa, my mom's parents, we went during Christmas time, and that was when my mom said that she wanted to show me the High Steppers perform kick line routine. And I went, and I remember watching them, and I was like, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do that. And yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Once again, I've talked about this. Once again, I didn't know how that was even gonna work, but I just knew. And I looked that up actually yesterday or the day before. I looked up that date because I wanted to see what was showing in my astrology at that time, because what is coming up this week for me is Pallas squaring the north and south node of my astrology. And guess what was squaring my south node and north node whenever I watched the High Steppers perform? So there you go. Well, for me, there you go. So it's nice to get these little things that are, you know, come up. Some like interesting. This is interesting. Okay. I'm still getting more pieces, so I'm not gonna. I feel like the biggest lesson for me that I've learned through my life is I can't just like get there, like jump in, because I just that's how I've always wanted to just get it, like do it. Like, all right, let's go. But it actually takes time. You can't just like hurry it up. You know, the universe and God is working at its right time, right place, right time, and not on mine. And that's what's been hard for me, because I'm like, I know I'm going to do that. Let's do it. Let's get it. Let's go. I'm ready to go. But that doesn't mean that everything else is aligned to be ready for that. And so that's been one of the lessons that I'm learning now is, okay, you're right, but you need to be patient and just like chill. Just chill. Because I'm one of those people that I get distracted. And this isn't a thing I learned from childhood, because of feeling not safe. I would either dissociate a lot. I would dissociate and distract myself. And that's because that's all kind of how all I knew to do. And I would keep myself busy because I didn't want to, and so it's one of those things I didn't really actually sit with my feelings a whole lot or emotions. I'd just be like, okay, well, I got all these things I need to do, so let's just, and this, that, I got that. And then I would make excuses of like, well, I also got to do that. So I'm going to just do that. And I'm going to go, and you know what? If I do all this other stuff that needs to be done tomorrow, then I can do it now. And then tomorrow I'll have extra time to do whatever I want. But then I'll realize if I do that, then I get burnt out or get sick or something happens. And then I'm down for a few days or whatever it is, and just end up with that same cycle there. But that's what I've been learning now, is just to sit down. That's not easy for me. That's not easy for me, because I want to do things. I'm one of those people that I'm very like restless, and that's where that anxiousness comes from. With me is like I move around a lot. You can see me just like, all right, like, and that's something I'm learning. I'm continued to do better. I check in with myself. I need to actually write a list, like a questions, like a questionnaire or something I can like check in with myself, at least maybe in the middle of the day. I don't know yet what I'm going to do here, but I'm just going to write a list to like ask myself questions, like making sure I'm still on track, because sometimes I don't even realize I have distracted or haven't done anything, because maybe I'm just like, I realize there's so much stuff that needs to be done, that I just don't do it because I don't want to. Because I just want to relax too. Isn't that funny? Like, it's, yeah, anyways. Yeah, one of them too, like one of my big problems is like eating, and it's not because it's not now because I'm not wanting to eat or like trying to starve myself. It's because I'll get so busy, whether it's doing stuff at home or like mentally busy, doing working on things in my head or whatever it is that I'm connecting with spirit, that I'll forget to eat, and then it'll be 5 p.m. and I haven't ate anything. And maybe some people are like, how the hell can you do that? And I don't know. I get so busy that I forget to eat. And so that's one of my big things right now, is I have been forcing myself to eat, even right now, since I'm really not feeling well and I'm not hungry, or I'm just not just feeling good. I'm still forcing myself to eat because I need to eat. And because I don't have the energy right now, and I'm having a lot of uh exhaustion and just drained out, I need to eat, because if I don't eat, it's just gonna mess things up even more. So it's things like that. I'm gonna check in with myself and make sure that I do these things, because those things are more important for me, and may not be for other people. I don't really care. It's important for me that I get that so I can take care of what needs to be done in the day. And yeah, so I don't even know where I was going to even go after this. So yeah, um, and then I noticed all of these dates. So I realized, okay, so I don't know why. Um, I have two dates here. So October 2nd, 2008, and then June 4th, 2007. So I don't know if anybody remembers those dates or the exact date. It's okay if you don't. Uh, all I know is in October 2nd, 2008, I was living with Nicole. And I think that's when I met or just started talking to my boyfriend at that time, like my first kind of like boyfriend, like, but there was also a time where I was, and it's both, because even for June 4th, 2007, I was in High Steppers. So I was in the High Steppers, and I was also going to concerts, hang out with people. I was busy. Uh, and I remember I was having on both of these dates and years, I was having like the best time of my life, but I was also very sad and depressed, felt very alone, felt very like nobody gets me or understands me. I didn't feel supported during that time either, even though I had some support. It was just, it's kind of, I'm realizing something I'm going through kind of now, but it's almost like a learn from it, that it's because I was too worried about how other people thought about me or trying to do things to make other people happy. You know, it wasn't me being me, but even then, it still was me being me. Just, I definitely didn't fit in. I definitely knew I was different. I always knew that, but it's just like it just bothered me. I don't know, it just bothered me. And I'm learning now, like, I don't care. I've had a lot of people close to me. I'm just saying, a lot of people close to me that are like, um, that are saying I'm insane and crazy, and that what I'm doing is weird. And here's the thing, it doesn't even bother me now. Like I feel so fucking free. Like I'm just like, oh, okay. Oh, you do this too much. Oh, well, that's, you talk too much. Oh, you post too much. Oh, no one's gonna listen to you talk for an hour and a half. I don't I don't care. I don't. If somebody doesn't want to listen to me, I don't care. If people do, that's great and that's awesome. But I'm not here to please people. I'm not here to be fake and do things now anymore that people want me to do, that I don't want to do anymore. That's done. That's over with. I'm Then you don't deserve to be around me. You don't deserve to get to know, you don't deserve to be breathing my air. That may sound very, but you don't. If I'm that weird, well, go find someone who's boring then. You can't handle the intensity, then get out. Because I'm not dimming anymore. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Sorry it makes you feel uncomfortable, but that doesn't have to do with anything with me. That has to deal with you and how you're feeling. So maybe you should look at yourself in the mirror. Yeah. Kristen's back, baby. Yes. But yeah, I was just realizing that I think a lot of people in the collective are feeling this way. And all I'm going to say is it's hard to go through times when it's change or different, or you're going through something that is emotionally upsetting or painful or sad, whatever it is. But I realized during those years of, I feel like I was like, oh, that was like one of the best times of my life. And I sat there and I was just so sad. And I just engulfed into like my emotions, and when I could have just enjoyed what was happening a lot more, if that makes sense. So I feel like that's something to pay attention to. And that and I know I can't speak for everybody's experience and what's going on for them right now. So, but it's also okay if you don't want to enjoy it sometimes. That makes sense. Like, it's okay to also be sad and cry, or it's okay. Like, you don't always have to be so strong or feel like you have to be so strong. Yeah, it's okay. Because that's one of my main things is I would see why a lot of people didn't see me as empathetic or sympathetic in my life, because when something would happen, I would be like, all right. I'd be like, all right, well, let's figure this out. So if I do this or if you do that, and we could, come together and we could get this thing done to figure this issue out, or we could also do it this way, we could go that way, we could, find different ways of dealing with this. But then I was realizing that they just had something happen to them. They're not really worrying about finding a solution. They just want someone to listen and like be there. And that's one of the biggest, I think that one right there is one of the biggest things I had to realize, because I've been so used to, as in my childhood, that I would figure out ways to get through something. And even before it would happen, because I would have this like weird, like, oh, well, this is, if that's gonna happen, like something bad, oh, if that happens, I already have like 10 things figured out if that bad thing happens. I just have to laugh at myself now, because I just have to laugh at myself because it's kind of funny now. But for so long, I just could not understand why I was doing certain things and why I was like this and why people were like seeing me like that. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, what? But now I see it. But that's just who I am. If you've got an issue here, this is the thing, is if you got an issue, if you need something done, like you need to figure something out and you've got an issue, come to me if you really need that, because I will give you different, I will break it down for you, and I'll be, Excel, what do you want? PowerPoint, what is it? Let's figure this out. Let's go. But now I'm realizing when someone is going through something, I now ask and I go, okay, well, what do you need from me right now? Do you need me to sit with you, to listen? Do you need, like, what do you need? Do you need just that? And then when you're ready, you can check in with me. I'll check in with you as well to figure something out to help to move forward. Or do you want both? Do you want me to sit here and listen and cry with you or whatever it is, and then we can figure it out or go forward with that? And that's what biggest thing. biggest thing. So that was kind of why I was wondering why I wasn't getting, or what I felt I wasn't getting the support or the emotional uh intimacy from people around me my whole life, is because it's more finding a solution rather than just actually sitting there with yourself. And once I had to sit with myself, I'm like, oh my God, it's because I wouldn't sit with myself for so long. I wouldn't sit with myself. And now I love sitting with myself. And maybe that okay. And then I would think like I had a lot of exes or men in my life, shit, even women who have been very obsessive or stalker-ish, like uh like intrusive or cross boundaries. And then I'm like, oh okay. Like I for so long I was like, I'm not like that. Nuh-uh. No. I am not like that. And I'm like, okay, maybe I do have some obsessive tendencies. Like I can, when I get really engulfed in something, I can get obsessed. Like when it comes to breaking things down and doing something, I can get too focused or too into something that I'm not realizing that is very unhealthy that I'm doing. And that goes for different aspects in my life. I'm not saying for how will it be for me coming towards men like that, but it was something I had to look at because I'm like, and when something triggered me or bothered me, now I'm looking at it and I'm like, what is it that I'm doing? Like, what is it that I can see that I'm, doing? And so I can start working on that. I'm not mad at myself, and I let I let it go. I mean, we all have bad tendencies, dark, and we have good. That's how we all are. You can't act like nobody's perfect. You can even go through healing and you're still going to subconsciously, unconsciously, and sometimes, was that an orb? It's crazy. Either way, you're still going to do stuff that you don't realize you're doing still, because it's like you've been doing something your whole life or for years. It's like I said, an addiction. It's an habit. It's going to take a long time to stop doing that. And even then, you're still going to, it's going to take time. It takes time. It's not, but yeah, either way, and then I always realize like power struggles. Where are these power struggles coming from? From like dealing with my parents, and then I would get it from coworkers, uh, managers, supervisors, and then even relationships. And I'm like, what? I'm like, I'm not. Like I'm not. No, I'm not like that. I don't have. No, I'm not. I don't. Mm-mm. Yeah. Well, yeah. So it's more of, I'm just gonna say, as a woman, and I've dealt with this from women and men, is there's a control and a dominant. So someone like wants to be the dominant over me, and it triggers that like of my childhood, and I'm like, no, 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 no. But then I realized, this is a part of me. So I need to accept that this is a part of me, like a darker side of me. But it's more of like, how can I express it? Express it in a way that it can be healthy and not in a unhealthy way. And so I think that's why a lot of people, like I'm just gonna say, who deal with those kind of things like power struggles and control and dominant, they usually play that out in the bedroom. So I'm just saying, I'm just saying, like, that's a way for both people to get that out. And there's other ways you could probably do it. But it's something you have to like be mindful of. But it's something like at this point in my life, I've gone through healing. I've let that go. I am I'm not worried about if I mess up anymore because I know I'm like gonna continue to mess up. That's just I'm not perfect. I don't have a halo, you know. I have both. So I think it's more of I am just trying to find ways to integrate it, like to integrate those parts of me because I already have like I already have the good, like the good side, but like the balance and to be find find the way to express the shadow and dark side in a healthy way. That's more of what I'm ready to learn, if that makes sense. So this is now on a whole different level than what I have been doing because what I've been doing this whole time is just going in and doing shadow work. And I even realized they have a book for this, but realized, you know what? I could I could write a good book. Like I could do a book on this of what I've that I mean, I have so many ideas. I'm not going to put all my ideas out there, but I know like since music runs into my family and I don't know why, it's just like I keep being told like music and directing and choreography because people have told me before in the past whenever I was dancing, like why don't you why don't you teach? I'm like, well, me, I'm just like at that time, younger me, like, well, I don't want to teach because I want to be the one that's out there doing it. But then I thought, you know what? I could have done all of that. I could have like been the one to choreograph it and do it and put it all together. It's just at that young age, it's not something I was thinking about at that time. But there is something that I have in mind that no one else is doing right now. It does involve music. It's no one's doing it right now. And I see this as like um the only thing is it does involve medical and it may sound I'm like I said, I'm not gonna give it away. So I'm just saying I would have to find a doctor or doctors who could teach me these things. So, but either way, I think it's like I have Uranus conjunct Hygeia in May of next year. I think it's May 18th. I come up with like a million or $1 billion idea, or it's just coming out during that time. So we shall see. But yeah, I just want to hop on here for a little bit. Anybody who's going through this, you know, going through the shadow work, I know it's not easy. Um, it's been a long road for me. And I think it's for a lot of people as well. So I'm here to give support. Also, you know, my spirit guides are talking to me last night, and I'm not saying like they were sending me like an image and then like they speak through me, like they speak to me through music as well. So, you know, obviously I'm a curse breaker. So they were showing me like this little like clip, and it's like in my head, like they like it, when you're daydreaming and you can actually like see things. Maybe a lot of people don't, but like I can actually daydream and like feel and see, like I can make my own world. And this may be weird to some people. That's fine. Like, but I'm not crazy. I know when I'm in reality and I know when I'm daydreaming. It's not something that like I'm like, yeah, I don't know when I'm please. It's, it's what yeah. Anyways, anyways, they were showing me this little clip, and it was like, anybody's ancestors. And if you're the one that comes in this life or in a different life, doesn't matter, and you're a curse breaker, they say that most of your ancestors and spirit guides, they don't want to do it because it's hard. It's hard. It's a hard life. It is like one of the hardest things. So they were showing me, they're like, they're showing me like going, yeah, I'll do it. Just I'll be the one. I'm gonna do it. And so they were showing me because I was looking at my astrology. I'm always looking at astrology anyways. And they're like, well, there's curse breakers that it's different. I guess there's some that have like different levels. So they said like if somebody has their North Node direct, they find it easier, but it doesn't mean it's easier. It's just they find it easier, or it happens for them a little bit quicker. They're like, but you, you chose um, uh, retrograde. You chose your North Node to be retrograde. And you're like, they were telling me that. I was like, okay, yeah, I'm doing this. And I said, I'm not doing that. I'm going to do expert level. If I'm going to actually do it, I'm going to do it and I'm going to be an expert. And it's funny because this is how I am. Like, I'm stubborn. I've learned though to chill out, and but like if I'm going to do that, I'm going all out. So, expert. They're like, do you really want to do that? Yes, expert. And now I'm wondering who allowed me to do this. But no, it's okay. I mean, it's been a long road, but uh yeah, that was one little explanation there of why it's been a little bit longer for me and made a lot more sense. But it's uh it's been it's been a hell of a ride, honestly. I'm thankful for all of it. Why is my thing doing that? So this is going to continue. To just be patient with yourself, chill out. If you're feeling certain emotions, just talk to someone. Talk to someone. I actually started here we go. I actually started therapy again. Yay. And so because I do want to continue keep learning. If there's something I'm not seeing, somebody else that doesn't know me can come in and help. I'm fine with that. That's not an issue with me. I don't mind being a student and I don't mind being a teacher. I love learning. Like I love being like a little child, like curious, just and Wiley. Oh my gosh, my son Wiley, he is so smart. He reminds me of me because he asks so many questions. And I know it bothers people, but it's just because he's curious. And then he does the same thing I do, where he's like, well, what if that happens, but in this way? What would you do in that situation and with that? And I'm just like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, you, yeah. And I don't put that down because I love that. I just, they both have like, yeah, it just makes you happy. Like, he's so funny too. it's they're both funny, and I'll be very interested to see. I'll be very interested to see what they do for what they want to do. But that's one of the big things is I also want to break that. I don't want that to happen with my kids. So that's something too. I am like, stop it. That's something that I definitely was a big thing for me because whenever I was told like, oh, nobody's gonna want you after you have two kids and someone else, and then it was, I don't know why I didn't remember like my middle brother Clayton. He's a Scorpio, so he's born November 1st, and he has been with his girlfriend now, but his girlfriend's divorced. She has two kids. And so I kind of was like, it was kind of like a weird epiphany, like wake up call for me of like seeing my brother with somebody. I was like, well, and he loves her. And she's great. I love her too. It's like he found his match, which is funny. It's funny because Clayton is Clayton is you don't want to make Clayton mad. I've seen Clayton where yeah, it but he's has those emotions too. Water. That's how we are, you know. But when he got with her though, it's like he finally like calmed down. He's been a lot more calm. He's like matured way more. And it's like he found his match. She comes at him because Clayton will he knows which buttons and where, and so do I, but it's one of those things of like it's just funny now. It's funny to see it. I'm like, but it really did was, you know, wake up call for me of like, wow. And I respect that so much of my brother to be like that. That's really what I try to push with my brothers, even though they may feel like I'm too much or whatever. I don't really care. I'm trying to break those old patterns and cycles that have been within our family. It takes time. And I know that, who knows, it may be hopeless, but either way, I don't give up on people. You know, I mean, I don't really give up on people unless they give up on me. But either way, I still have love for them. I still wish them well. I don't have ill will towards anyone. And I understand too that not everyone can stay in your life and be in your life, and that it's finding the ones that deserve to be close to you, and you'll know. You figure it out. You figure it out who's meant to be in your life and who's not. But those people who are not, you learn. You learn more lessons from them than you do to the people that stay around you. But at the same time, you still learn great things on both sides. So, yeah. Well, I'm I hope you guys are hanging there. Hang in there. Hang in there. We're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. It may be hard and difficult, but we're gonna make it. We're gonna go. We're gonna get through. It's okay to be in bed all day if you want to be in bed all day or cry or whatever. Uh, I've been doing that a lot. May not look like it, but I haven't been sleeping. very well either. I mean, I was asleep last night, and that was another thing, real quick, is I I like woke up at it was weird. I randomly woke up at like 3:15 a.m. and I was like, what is happening? And it it was like I don't know if someone was talking about me or I don't know, but I was just up. I was up and I was like, what's going on? What's happening? Because the night before, I also had a weird dream, like a weird dream, because I did a cord cutting. Because okay, if you're at a Reiki, it might not be, doesn't matter. Um, but if you're in a Reiki, one of the first people that I started watching was her name's Lunate, so it's Lunate ASMR, but she does Reiki, and she's my favorite. And so she, I found her in like 2018. But either way, because it's weird, like all of this, like I got into ASMR, and people may think ASMR is weird, whatever, but it like helped with my anxiety, and I thought it was really interesting. I was like, this is why is this happening? Like, I was like, I feel better. And then in between that, I found her, and so I love her, all her videos. So if you want to check her out, yeah, she's great. But I did like a cord cutting for people who I just like wanted a cord cut, like, and then I had the weirdest dream, weird dream, weird dream. And it was like it was weird. I was like in this like stadium, like watching a game. I think it was like basketball. I don't know, but I think it was basketball. I don't know. I think maybe it's something else, but it was like two girls. I didn't know these girls. It's like two girls and like someone that I don't know, but like no, if that makes sense. But I was like, okay. And then they're like, hey, let's go. And I'm like, okay, okay. And it's like here in Oklahoma, and all of a sudden, like we're driving, and all of a sudden it's like we take a turn, and then we're like in Florida or like on the beach. It's like, what is happening? Like what? So we get here, and it's like it looks like the condos that I stayed at in Pensacola this June, and we're walking to go in this condo, and it's like they wanted me to meet someone, but like it was, I don't know, it was like really weird. I don't know. It was just, and there's a lot of people there, and I was just what is happening? Like what is going on right now? And it was so confusing. But either way, I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, I realized where we were, and I was like, oh, this looks just like, oh, we stayed over there, because I'll talk, and that's funny is like even in my dreams, because I don't mind talking. Here, if you don't want to talk, I'll talk. I'll keep talking if you I'll keep going if you want me to. You don't have to talk if you don't want to. But anyways, I'm just talking to these people. I don't even know who they are. And I don't even know what they were doing. It just was a weird dream. And I remember waking up and I'm like, what it was that? Either way, I still don't know if that was like something to look out for, or I don't know. Either way, it was really weird. It was obvious though that like when people think about me, I dream. Like you get my dreams. So like um I'm not aware. That makes sense. Like I'm aware. Uh that, and then uh I just I pick up, and I think it was something too. They were telling me like if somebody's trying to manifest you or talking about you, but it has something to do with that. They're like, if you're asleep, you wake up and you're up. I was like, okay, okay. Hmm. All right. So yeah, and I guess maybe that's why here lately I've just been up. Like I'm up at 1 a.m. sometimes till 5 a.m. And I can also do with like my medication and stuff too. But yeah, it's weird, weird hours of the night. And for some reason I feel like there's something being planned because my mom is very quiet. My mom has been very quiet, and my mom is not quiet. My mom is not a quiet one. So I'm like, what's going on? There's something going on. And I'm like, something's going on. But they're not telling me, obviously. But I just think it's funny. She's just been really quiet. And because this would be more of a time she would be near me because I've been going through a lot. Uh, but she's been very quiet. She's been around, but she's been very quiet. And I think it's because she knows I can catch on to things pretty well. I don't know. But maybe that's what freaks people out. It's because I can pick up on a lot. That's okay. I like being like that. I like being me. I like I like who I am. Actually, I love who I am. So I don't need to have other people tell me that anymore or to get validation for that anymore. I don't want that. Like I said, there's some people are like, oh, you do too long videos, you do this, you do that. That's fine. Cool. I like it. So, anyways, breathe, go out in nature, talk to people if you can, get support if you need it. But like I said, I may or may not do a video next week. Like I said, I'm really gonna try, but it's just been this is hard. It's difficult. Like a lot of people may not understand. Um, that's why a lot of people go to rehab and you're alone. I'm doing this with like life going on. So it's 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 rough. I'm not gonna lie, I've been struggling. I have really been struggling. It's not it hasn't been easy. I've been struggling and um I need support. I need help right now. Like I need connection. Like I just need people that can be that too because I can't always be giving, give. I still do that anyways because that's just who I am. But I've been very depleted lately. So, um, for the people who do message me, I see you and thank you. And I really do appreciate it, honestly, truly. And I hope I'm helping you guys. I really do. And don't be afraid to reach out if you need someone to talk to as well. Really, because I'm always here to help. If I can and if I have the time to do that, I'm always willing. Always, always. It's just who I am. So yeah. Anyways, I hope you guys have a great rest of your what is it, this weekend? Yeah, this weekend. Isn't it the equinox or something tonight? I think it's something like that. But yeah, just be mindful. Be mindful this week. There's probably gonna be a lot of emotions, maybe anger. Watch that. Like be mindful. Be mindful. And just know that, everybody's emotions are running high right now. So just chill. Okay? Just sit down. Read a book, listen to music, laugh, go to karaoke bar, I don't know. Just go, you know, do something that's not gonna make you burn a bridge, burn a town, whatever it is. Just be mindful. Just, yeah. Hope you guys have a great night. Bye bye.